Hey everybody on YouTube, this is Kyle Snyder once again, aka Clipton, and this is my week 5 predictions of the National Football League. We're already a fourth of the way done with the season, and things are starting to turn out as to what teams are hot and what teams are not. So here goes my predictions for week 5. Our Thursday night game is the Arizona Cardinals versus the St. Louis Rams. Obviously, these two have been division rivals for quite some time, and while it looks like the St. Louis Rams may be getting things back together, the Arizona Cardinals seem to be showing no signs of letting go of the pedal. And I believe that the Cardinals defense is going to hold off the St. Louis offense, so the Arizona Cardinals are my pick for the Thursday night game. Alright, then we got our Sunday games. First up, the Atlanta Falcons versus the Washington Redskins. Two teams that have been very good on offense, obviously with RG3 having a hot start in his NFL career, scoring so many points with the Redskins. But then again, the Atlanta Falcons are undefeated, and they're showing their dominance on both sides of the ball, surprisingly. Yes, they barely pulled it off against the Carolina Panthers last week, but I believe the Atlanta Falcons are for real, and they will defeat the Washington Redskins. Next up, we have the Baltimore Ravens versus the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs' offense is obviously going to be no match for the Baltimore's defense. So this one should be a no-brainer. The Baltimore Ravens are going to defeat the Kansas City Chiefs unless some kind of freak injury or freak play happens that all of a sudden turns momentum around. But the Baltimore Ravens are my choice. Next up, we have the Battle of Pennsylvania, the Philadelphia Eagles and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, normally I would give the Eagles the advantage here, but since the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to get some key players back, James Harrison, Troy Polamalu, and I believe Rashard Mendenhall are all coming back, I believe the Steelers are going to end up winning this game. May not be a convincing victory, but nevertheless, the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to get the W here over the Philadelphia Eagles. Alright, next up we have the Miami Dolphins versus the Cincinnati Bengals. And once again, this should be a no-brainer. The Cincinnati Bengals, I believe, are going to end up winning this one. Yes, Miami is going to put up a fight, but in the end, the Bengals are going to end up taking the W away from the Miami Dolphins. Next up, we have the Green Bay Packers versus Indianapolis Colts. Now, obviously, the Indianapolis Colts are going to be at a disadvantage because their head coach, Chuck Pagano, has been diagnosed with leukemia recently, and he's undergoing chemotherapeutic treatments, and obviously with Bruce Arians being forced to take the leadership role of head coach, all of a sudden, it might throw off the game of the Indianapolis Colts. Obviously the Colts are going to put up a fight against the Green Bay Packers, but in the end, the Packers offense is going to be too much for the Indianapolis Colts to handle. So Green Bay is my choice for this one. I want the Colts to win, but I really think the Packers are going to have the victory in this game. Next up, we have the Cleveland Browns versus the New York Giants. The Cleveland Browns are not putting up a good fight this season. They're 0-4 right now, and their offense is just terrible. They have no receivers who can catch the ball. It's blatantly obvious that the Browns, they don't know what direction they're taking anymore. They have a horrible coaching staff. They have horrible receivers. It's like the quarterback position is not a problem. Colt McCoy was actually a good quarterback. It's just they thought it was the quarterback position when it really wasn't. It was the receivers that were not up to par with it. And the New York Giants are obviously going to win this game because they know exactly how to exploit the Browns' weaknesses. Next up, we have the Chicago Bears versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Bears showed their dominance in defense against the Dallas Cowboys last week, and no doubt they're going to show that same dominance against the Jacksonville Jaguars. So the Chicago Bears are my choice. Alright, next up we have the Seattle Seahawks versus the Carolina Panthers. You can expect Cam Newton and the Panthers to bounce back from their disappointments this season. They're obviously going to show great offense. And obviously the Seattle Seahawks are going to be playing away, and the Seahawks this season have not been an effective team on the road. So the Carolina Panthers are going to win this game, no doubt. I mean, if they were playing in Seattle, I'd give it to the Seahawks, but since they're playing in Carolina, I'm giving this one to the Panthers. Alright, next up we have the Tennessee Titans versus the Minnesota Vikings. And the Minnesota Vikings, at the beginning of this season, I thought they would be at 4-12 at best, but they seem to be proving me wrong. And I have no doubt that they're going to prove more critics wrong this season, that they are a team to be reckoned with. They're a team to be taken very seriously. The Tennessee Titans, on the other hand, they might play better with Matt Hasselbeck, now that Jake Locker's injured. And Matt Hasselbeck, in my opinion, was a better quarterback than Jake Locker. But nevertheless, I believe the Minnesota Vikings are for real, and they will defeat the Tennessee Titans. Next up, we have the Buffalo Bills versus the San Francisco 49ers. This is going to be a very tough game for the Buffalo Bills to win, because the San Francisco 49ers are one of the hardest defensive teams to beat in the NFL today. As for offense, it could go either way, but I have no doubt the San Francisco 49ers are going to defeat the Buffalo Bills. There's just no way the Niners are going to lose this game. Alright, next up we have the Denver Broncos versus the New England Patriots, aka Manning versus Brady 13. And obviously this is going to be a high offensive game, and I believe that the Denver Broncos are going to actually end up winning it, because they seem to have a better defense than the New England Patriots do. I mean, yeah, the Patriots did manage to intercept Ryan Fitzpatrick 4 times last week, but this isn't Ryan Fitzpatrick. This is Peyton Manning. So obviously Peyton Manning and Tom Brady know each other very well, but I believe this time Manning is going to get the victory over Brady. I mean, yeah, technically Brady does have more victories over Manning than Manning over Brady, but Manning's going to beat Brady this time. Alright, so the Denver Broncos are my pick. Then we got our Sunday night game, the San Diego Chargers versus the New Orleans Saints. And I believe the San Diego Chargers are going to win this one. Yes, Drew Brees is going to break Johnny Unitas' record of most consecutive games with at least one thrown touchdown pass. But nevertheless, the San Diego Chargers are going to prove their dominance on both sides of the ball, and they're going to win this one hands down. I mean, obviously, the loss of Sean Payton for the season is too much to handle for the New Orleans Saints, and they're going to end up missing the playoffs for the first time since 2008. And last but not least, we have our Monday night game, the Houston Texans versus the New York Jets. The Houston Texans are no doubt going to show why they are the most dominant team in the AFC this season, on both sides of the ball, and they're no doubt going to embarrass the New York Jets here. I mean, the Jets have lost so much this season. They lost Darrelle Revis, they lost Antonio Holmes. They have no clue as to what direction to take as far as their offense is concerned. And the Houston Texans are going to take advantage of all game, throughout the entire game. So the Houston Texans are my pick to win this one. And of course, the teams that have bye weeks for Week 5 are the Oakland Raiders, the Dallas Cowboys, the Detroit Lions, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So they'll get some much needed rest and time to plan out their strategies for their next games. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next week.